So what we've done is pulling the exhaust off here. The things that we got to take apart are the two hanger brackets. Well, this being a 2-into-1 system is just a hanger bracket on this side. You got 2 bolts here. There's a bolt here holding it to the transmission mount. You have your 2 O2 sensors that are threaded into the exhaust system. And you, of course, got your 2 header nuts on each of the studs here on the front and rear heads. On this bike, since it was a 2-into-1 system, and we are going to put a 2-into-2 system, if you will, the Power Tune Duals, there is a bracket underneath here that we have to take off. And as well, there are 4 bolts on the transmission case on the oil pan. And then on the other side, there is the same hanger bracket that's over here does not exist on this bike. So we had to purchase those separately. There's the rubber grommet here, and as well the bracket that holds and supports the muffler. I guess the next step here is to remove the air cleaner and install one of 2 intakes that S&S offers. We offer a teardrop air cleaner, and we offer the dual runner system. So this particular customer is going to get the tuned runner, and we'll get this air cleaner off and show you what's all involved there. The tools are really simple. Basically, you need a 5/16 Allen wrench, and you just take this center bolt off. The next tool we need is a T27 Torx, and there's 3 screws here that go right through the air cleaner and through the back plate into the throttle body. We'll pull them out. And there's 2 little black hoses here in the back for the breathers that you basically can pull them off at the same time. The next thing we need is a 7/16 to take out the 2 breather bolts that are attaching the back plate to the cylinder head, if you will. Get them out. And so there's the whole back plate with the 2 breather bolts, and that's it as far as taking off the air cleaner. Okay, we're going to work on the installation of the air cleaner kits. We have 2 options during our stage 1 install. Stage 1 being the exhaust and the intake installation. So we're gonna focus on the installation of the teardrop air cleaner. Again, we have 2 air cleaner options from S&S. You have the tuned runner and the teardrop. So we're going to focus on the teardrop here. I have the contents kind of laid out here for us in order. I'm going to put on the adapter plate. What is this? Basically a billet plate that changes the bolt pattern of the throttle body on a stock Harley to the S&S teardrop bolt pattern. The first thing we're going to do here is install the adapter plate. Put the gasket behind the plate and stick in the bolts with Loctite applied, blue Loctite, and use an 1/8 inch Allen wrench to run these little button head screws into the throttle body. Okay, first one started. Make sure that when you put this adapter on that the notch for the breather tube is just to the right of center on the top side. Okay, the next step is to torque those to spec. And the spec, of course, is in your installation instructions. Next step is basically to install your breather tube, your breather hardware. When the kit comes to you, it's going to have this uncut long tube, and the reason why I guess the tube is like this is because of various engines that this air cleaner kit fits on are different heights, and so as the motor grows, of course, this tube has to get longer and shorter. Okay, so it's basically a cut to fit type of a tube, and you want to center the T in the tube basically in the cutout of the billet adapter here. And so you can take and put your banjo fitting and basically thread that into the head. Okay, get both of them in there, determine the tube length, eyeball it, and basically cut the tube so that it would, of course, seat all the way onto the banjo fitting. Okay, so as far as the assembly of the banjo fitting, this would be the banjo fitting onto the breather hardware. You have a coated metal washer, one with a large diameter ID and one with a small ID. Okay, the large diameter ID goes onto the hardware first. You can see how there's a taper on this hardware. So that large diameter ID, of course, fits all the way over that, and the small diameter ID won't. So, of course, the big one goes on first. Now the banjo fitting goes on next. Banjo fitting has a small ID and a large ID. Okay, if you put the large ID on first, it's loose. So it certainly needs to go on such that the small ID is towards the taper. Okay, small washer next, and put a little blue Loctite on that hardware. And this hardware has a 7/8 hex head on it, so you could use a 7/8 wrench or a 7/8 socket. And you want to align your banjo fitting so that the hose coming out of it is facing between the throttle body and the bracket on top of the throttle body. Okay, so I'm going to take my pre-cut hose, as long as my banjo is loose here, and basically push it on there. I already got the clamp on the hose. I'm just going to come out here and push it on. Of course, you can use the pliers to relieve that spring clamp, but I was able to overcome it here. I'll back this out so I can get it to swing. And it sits down in there just like we want it to. Okay, I just got it snug for now. I'll come back and torque it here after I get the front one installed again. Big coated washer ID first. The small end of the banjo goes on first, and then the small washer. Lock tight. Get your bolt started. Grab a pliers for this one. Okay. All right, grab a 7/8 socket and torque it down. There's two decorative covers. The banjo fitting would come through this slot right here. It has a little button head screw. So we put a little Loctite on that screw.